Hey, Robin here from Post Professionals. Here just one chapter from one of my longer videos for easier access. But if you prefer to watch the whole thing in one go, you can find the link either up here or down in the description. Either way, I hope you enjoy, and if you do and it was helpful, maybe do me a solid and give me a thumbs up, or even smash the old subscription button, which really helps the channel. Thanks, and now this. And last but not least, there is a new stroke effects filter in motion. This filter can be used to automatically create a gradient or solid color outline around the edges of a keyed subject, shape, or text object. So basically, add an outline to anything with an alpha channel. Here I have a simple project with two people passing a key in front of a green screen that I shot for a client. And I've applied a custom LUT for a bit of color correction, and of course a keyer. The concept of the stroke filter is pretty simple, and I would imagine fairly self-explanatory. If I play the clip and maybe stop it somewhere in the middle, I just need to select the video layer, go into the filters menu, and here under the border category, we find the new stroke filter that I can apply by simply selecting it. And immediately we see the effects. I get a thin outline around my subjects in the default color of red. In the inspector under filters, I can see all the various parameters that I'm able to customize. First and foremost, I can decide on how the color of the outline is applied with the stroke type menu. To be able to see this a little better, I'll just increase the width to about 50 or 60. Now, if I go back to the stroke type and select gradient, we can see the chosen gradient color is applied to the stroke from the top to the bottom of the image. I can, of course, choose any of the many other gradient presets, or even create my own, whereby the classic gradient control elements become active in the canvas, with which I can change angle and spread. With the position settings, I can decide whether I want the stroke to run along the outside of my alpha, centered, or even the inside, each time creating a new effect. If I set this to outside and then adjust the offset slider, we can see that changes the relative distance to the subject. So I can, for example, make the outline float around my image. The threshold decides to what degree the outline follows the detail of the alpha channel. So in a sense, the softness. A very high value, for example, tightens it along the alpha, introducing some noise. With the two fade sliders, I can adjust the inside and outside softness of the outline, as well as use the fade width and fall off to further fine-tune the look of my stroke. Hiding the source is one of the more interesting options. Activating this hides the original source, only showing the stroke. So if I, for example, wanted to make this outline a little more dynamic, I could duplicate this layer, delete or deactivate the stroke from the lower layer, and set the stroke filter of the upper layer to hide the source. Then apply a distortion filter to the upper layer, such as the underwater filter. Adjust the settings to my liking, and then maybe even apply a glint filter to accentuate it all a bit. And with that, I get a nice and cheesy 80s style music video effect. And that pretty much does it for motion. So, was that helpful? Again, if so, then maybe give me a quick thumbs up, or even hit the subscription button and little bell to help the channel, which allows me to continue to produce these free tutorials, and so you don't miss future ones. For that, a huge thank you in advance, and I hope to see you in the next one, or maybe in one of these videos that YouTube thinks you need to have seen as well. Either way, until then, take care.